A recent surgery became much more serious than anyone expected. I started bleeding afterwards. I needed multiple blood transfusions, a second procedure, and I ended up intubated. I'm recovering now, and I'm not going to make this some healthcare video. But the experience stripped away one assumption I didn't realize I was still carrying, that I would always have more time to make a change later. Later, when the finances are better. Later, when family might need me less. Later, when work finally settles down. Later, when changing my life doesn't feel quite so dangerous. But later, it's not the plan, and it's not unlimited. It has left me with an uncomfortable question. What part of my life am I preserving because it's genuinely right for me? And what part am I preserving because changing it would require courage I haven't found yet? And I know I'm not the only one asking this question. I want to talk to a specific group of people today. Now, if you're somewhere between 45 and 65 and you thought you'd feel more established by now, you may be caring for an aging parent while still helping a child who hasn't fully gotten started yet. Maybe you've been through a divorce or had to rebuild financially. Maybe you're doing all of this just on one income with nobody besides you to absorb the risk if something goes wrong. And then there's the job. It pays enough to keep you there, but not enough to create much of a life outside of it. It keeps the lights on, it provides health insurance, and it may support more than your own household. And it has probably carried you through some very difficult years. So the job itself, it isn't evil. But somewhere along the way, it may have stopped being only a job and became dependency. You can't afford to leave it, and staying isn't making you any more capable of leaving it later. That's the trap. Not that you still have to work. Look, most of us do. The trap is that one employer, one paycheck, in one version of your life, you've gradually become the only responsible way you know how to take care of everything. A lot of retirement advice still begins with the assumptions many of us no longer recognize in our own lives. 2 incomes, a marriage that lasted, children who become completely independent, healthy parents, a house that is nearly paid off, and decades of uninterrupted retirement contributions. Then it asks how much money you'll need to stop working. But what if you can't stop working? What if traditional retirement at 65 is not financially available to you? Or what if sitting around doing nothing isn't what you want anyway? A lot of us, we still want to contribute. We still want to solve problems, build something, earn money, travel, learn, and take on new challenges. Hey, we don't necessarily want to retire from being useful. We want more control of where we live, how we work, and what our remaining capable years actually feel like. So maybe the better question is this: if I still need to work for another 10 to 15 years, what kind of life do I want and to work to support it? Because you might not be able to retire from work, but you may be able to retire from the life you no longer want, not from your responsibilities or the people who depend upon you, but the arrangement those responsibilities have trapped you inside. Maybe it's the commute, the expenses, the location, or the house that's become more of an obligation than a source of security. Maybe it's a job that consumes the best part of your day and leaves very little for the life that you're supposedly supporting. Continuing to work doesn't necessarily require you to preserve every part of your life currently. I need to be honest about something here. I'm 55 and I'm still trying to figure out what my next chapter should look like. Sometimes I'm embarrassed by saying that. I thought I'd feel more established by now. I thought the choices would be clearer and the future would be more secure. And I'm scared. Changing my life now doesn't affect only me. Other people depend on the stability I provide. And I can't pretend to have another 30 years to recover from every possible mistake. So I'm not speaking to you as someone who has already escaped the job, sold the house, moved abroad, and figured everything out. I'm speaking as someone living under many of these same constraints. But I no longer believe staying exactly where I am should automatically be considered a safe decision. Staying, it carries risk too. It just hides that risk inside familiarity. Now you can remain loyal to your job, pay the bills, maintain the house, take care of your family, and avoid every obvious risk. And still wake up at 68 having successfully preserved a life you no longer wanted. Nothing collapsed, but nothing came alive again either. That possibility frightens me too. So, what do we do if we can't quit tomorrow? And what are we not going to pretend that we can? We don't blow up our lives. We don't start building another option. That begins with actually being honest about what really has to be protected. Our income, it probably needs to be protected. Our health care, our housing, the well-being of the people who rely on us may need to be protected too. Those are real constraints. They're not excuses, and acknowledging them doesn't make us cowards. Courage is the age for us pretending that we have nothing to lose. It's designing to change around what we must protect. But we also need to ask whether everything we're carrying is truly necessary, or whether some of it continued simply that we have been with the person who carries it. Then we need to identify the first dependency that keeps our current life from being a choice. Now, for me, that may mean reducing the debt and making my paychecks so it's necessary. Then building skills to carry you to another employer, to another location. For you, it might be seriously looking at jobs in another state, finding out what your life would actually cost somewhere else, or testing whether someone would pay you for what you already know. It could mean downsizing, developing a portable skill, creating a small source of income outside of your job, or simply setting better boundaries around the responsibilities you have to absorbing from those other people, because the point is not to do this all at once. You don't need to have 5 new income streams by next month. You do not need to start a business after working all day and caring for everyone else. You need to find the first thing that gives your current job or location much more power over you instead of weakening it. The idea is to test smaller, more reversible decisions before making larger, irreversible ones. That is optionality. And it's not refusing to make the decision forever, and it's not freedom from responsibility. It's having more than one responsible way to take care of yourself and the people you love. Because when there are only one responsible way to survive, it's not really a choice anymore. Moving abroad may eventually be one of those options. So might moving to another state, changing careers, working remotely, downsizing, consulting, taking seasonal work, building something of your own, or simply finding a job that returns enough time and energy for you to have an actual life. The destination isn't the first decision. The first decision is whether the current arrangement deserves to be preserved indefinitely. I'm not telling you to quit your job, sell your house, or move to another country because life is short. That's not what my experience has taught me. It's taught me that capable time is also a resource. and that we rarely include it when we calculate the cost of waiting. We carefully measure the financial risk of changing our lives, but we almost never measure the cost of spending another 5 to 10 healthy years inside a life we already know we don't want. Being unable to leave today does not mean you failed. Being afraid doesn't mean you're weak. And feeling embarrassed that your life doesn't look like the way you expected it to look by now, it doesn't mean it's too late to begin changing it. Hey, whatever brought you here, shame will not build you the next option. But we also have to be honest with ourselves. Real responsibilities can keep us from leaving today. They should not prevent us from asking what should make leaving possible, though, for tomorrow. So I want to leave you with the same question I've been asking myself, especially in the past few days. What part of your life are you continuing because you genuinely right for you? And what part are you continuing because changing it actually frightens you? You don't need to blow up your life to answer that question. And you don't need to take the honest step towards building another option. Because the goal is not to abandon those responsibilities. The goal is to build a life where staying is a choice, not a sentence. All right, well, that's all I have for you today. Look, I'm Rob. This is the Expat Review. Everyone, take care. I'll see you in the next one.